Welcome back. We have Lisa Stockton here with us, talking to us about Happy Kitchen. So Lisa, just before the break, we were just talking about finding a balance between work and life. Because you run your own business called Happy Kitchen, and what you do is that you source the market for organic fruits, and food, I should say, that is good for the environment. And also, obviously, you try to use those the produce to create, I suppose, various other recipes. So, Lisa, how do you balance work and I suppose work and life, really?
It's difficult. Definitely difficult. I guess just trying to leave work at a relatively normal time, not too late at night, make sure I see my friends still and do things that I enjoy, like a bit of running and yoga, things like that, things to relax. But I guess when you're really passionate about what you're doing, and sometimes I don't feel like my job is my job, you know, it's something that I'm passionate about and I enjoy and I love. So as long as you can keep a balance and you remember that you're doing it because you love doing it, and as long as you start a business doing something you really believe in, then, you know, it's not ever something that's going to become necessarily a negative thing.
That's good. But what challenges have you encountered, I mean, in running this business, you know?
I'd say that, and sad thing to say, but honesty is money. It's very difficult to manage running a business every single day on a what can be a tight budget to start with. But
you look lovely, girl. I tell you, I can't be that bad.
No, I mean it's good, it's fine, but it's just difficult because you know, trying to make sure everything's paid at the same time, at the right time, enough, you know, to have money to pay back out again for new things. Constantly managing our stock levels, managing you know, paying all our different market stalls, collecting money from people that we're taking our food to, our health food stores and things like that. It's so far so good, but it is a challenging thing, mainly because my background isn't in money. You know, I'm a very creative person. My background's been in art and in graphic design, in project management, and I'm obviously, as I've mentioned earlier, working in social enterprises, lots of volunteering work and things like that. And you know, I'm very passionate about the environment, and I'm essentially somebody who wants to use this organisation as a kind of campaigning way, you know, to show people that businesses can be run in a more sustainable way, with better things at their core rather than purely money, but without saying, you know, I mean, it also is very important to be able to make sure something is functioning. So we're not a charity, you know, we're a social enterprise, which means we're using business and enterprise as a way to sell, to then obviously bring money back in again, hopefully make a profit, but then to do better things with that profit rather than pocketing it for ourselves or giving it out to any investors or shareholders.
Lisa, you mentioned the fact that, you know, you have to make sure that money comes in and, you know, you pay people and everything is balanced. Don't you have an accountant? How do you cope with that? Do you do all this yourself?
No, we didn't in the beginning, which is why it's more of a challenge to start with, because obviously you just have a smallest team possible and then you grow from there. At the moment we do have somebody who works for us full-time, who is our full-time finance accounts manager. He's called Martin. Very good he is as well. He also gets in the kitchen quite often, and I've taught him to make all our recipes. So as we're a relatively small team, you know, we all kind of do a bit of everything, but his main job is, you know, managing all our cash flow, ensuring we have the right stock and that money's paid to the right people and money comes back in from the right people at the right time.
That's what we need, good accountant, because, you know, I'm just saying good, and we need good accountant because obviously I run my business and it's always juggling things and trying to find the right balance in between getting the right, right sponsorship on board and so on. So Lisa, where is next for you then? Where is the world?
Sure. Well, just growth really at the moment. We are looking to move units very soon into a bigger unit, which is very exciting after only a year. So we're going to be moving our current industrial kitchen to a bigger unit. And we've basically got lots of orders that we need to fulfill, and we've had to we've got many things that we want to do, and we have a much bigger future of many things that we're planning as well. But sometimes we have to pull ourselves back in and go, right, 6 months, what do we need to achieve? A year, what do we need to achieve? And now we're starting to really look at like the next 5 years, what we want to plan to do, what we need to do to have enough money in the bank to do some of the bigger things we want to do, particularly with the social side of things with the kids. We have big plans for a centre in central London or somewhere near to, maybe even in Hackney where we're based at the moment, to run a kind of a cooperative grocery space that will have a cafe attached to a restaurant, where we sell the food that we make. We we run all our projects from there. We get all the kids in from schools, and even, you know, we do stuff with parents and kids as well, or anybody in the local area really who wants to learn about making food that is healthier, what healthy means, what it tastes like, you know, what does it mean to use food that is sourced locally? What are those foods? Where do they come from? How are they grown? You know, where's food coming from? How much is food causing damage to the environment, and how much of an effect is it having by us eating a diet that is more in tune with the environment? So obviously that's what we're centred around, is people and the planet. So we really want to get this space set up. We'd love to be looking at 5 years to get ourselves a space to start selling our ingredients, to start selling our food more, have a central location. Lots of people say to us, you know, where can we come to buy this food? And we're like, well, at the moment we just sell to other outlets to sell our food for us. Such as? Little health food stores in London. We're just about to secure about 3 different huge stores, which I can't really say yet, but they're really good. I know, it's really exciting. But we're just kind of in the motion next couple of weeks to start supplying them.
But what makes your business? I'm so excited for you, Lisa. Honestly, I am, because I always like businesses to grow. And I'm not I hate when people, not I hate, but I dislike when people feel, oh gosh, you know, we can't do this, we can't achieve this because of the credit crisis. We're not able to do that.
You can achieve anything.
You can achieve, that's what I like about you, and I like the passion and the fact that, but what keeps you going? I mean, look, you're growing when all businesses are shrinking. What makes your business different? What makes Happy Kitchen different?
I think that from feedback from customers, because at the end of the day, that is who's buying my food, and that's essentially what's keeping us flowing. You know, if we had a great idea, but nobody bought it, then we just have an idea and nothing else. So I'd say from feedback from my customers at running stalls and selling our food, and people sending us emails back, I think it comes down to the details of the ingredients we use in the things that we sell. People are very receptive to our very careful choices of the ingredients we're using. You know, our hemp oil is an amazing oil, not only for health, but also because it's sourced from Dorset through a nice company who's also cares about the environment. And Ellie and myself have obviously spent a long time just very, very carefully searching through all the best producers we can find in this country to give us their ingredients, which they also have poured love into making. You know, from our flowers, even our things that we've sourced from further away. You know, we buy fair trade chocolate that's organic as well, and little things like that. You know, it makes all the difference when you know you're supporting fair trade, for instance. And also equally, it's really nice. I mean, we source flax seeds from a lady in West Sussex called Claire, who every time I get on the phone with her, we have the most loveliest conversations, and she runs a very small farm. She grows her linseeds, very passionate about it. We buy them direct from her. It comes with her to Borough Market where she sells her food. I go down there, pick it up, we have a nice chat, we talk about our recipes, we share things, and then I go away with an amazing ingredient that we put into all our cakes, for instance, which has got lots of omega-3 and 6 and stuff like that. So people, I think, through communicating this story on our stalls, through our website, and through myself, you know, meeting people and talking to people, people realise that there's a real honest passion at the bottom, at the core of what we do. And people always email us saying, you know, your ingredients are fantastic, and you know, you've spent a long time obviously sourcing out what's good for your health, but also good for the planet.
But what about price as well, Lisa? Because organic food are not cheap, especially, I mean, I know people say local food's supposed to be cheap, but I don't think they're...
It's a very interesting question. It's a good one as well, because it's something that I always want to talk about to people, because when Ellie and I first started out, we were always very passionate about going into these organic stores and it being so expensive. And for me, it makes it so inaccessible to the majority of the population, which is something that I want to work on and challenge in the future. Just to going back slightly, the social centre I mentioned about wanting to set up in central London, this will become at the moment we're classified as a non-profit, but I never like to call it that, because we are a social enterprise, which many call a non-profit, but we do make profits. It's just what we do with them is for greater good, for the community. Now, with the centre that we set up, we really want to make the food as cheap as possible, but obviously also organic, and using these great suppliers, which are small, so often means that their ingredients are more expensive. At the moment, we had this crossroads of, do we sell our food at a knockdown price? So we reduce it and get cross-funding to make the food accessible to everybody? Or do we sell the food at the price that we need to, make the profit we need, but then use the profits to give essentially back to people that can't afford to buy food? Now, we've decided to do it in 2 ways. So one, we'll raise the money, save up for our centre in central London, which will be run at zero profit. So all the money that we make through selling the food there will also cross-fund selling the food at a cheaper price than it costs us to make it. So at the moment we're trying to balance the two, because organic food sadly is more expensive, but I'm hoping that through more of a demand through consumers, which is also more people buying it, even if it's only small things here or there, you know, buying fair trade organic bananas, might be a few pence difference, but maybe that just might be one thing on your shopping bill every week. You try to buy organic, because the more it's bought, the more it'll be provided, and that will hopefully in the end, and I believe, will bring the price down for more people.
But obviously you're doing very well, because if there's demand for your organic produce, then I suppose it must be the ingredients, as you say, because I'm just trying to work out how the price to demand, the relative...
It's not too expensive. I mean, you know, we sell our foods at perhaps some of them are pence higher. Price, relatively competitive. I guess people, our customers are understanding that they'd rather buy maybe quality rather than quantity. And sometimes it's about a readjusting of people's kind of mindset about what they actually fancy eating sometimes. You know, a lot of our customers are buying our food because they would rather have something of lesser quantity and buy quality and enjoy something.
It's great, Lisa. We're running out of time. Just quickly, how can people contact you? Do you have a website?
Yes, www.happykitchen.org.uk.
Oh, that's easy to remember. Lisa, thank you very much for being here on the Rhoda Wilson Show. I hope you've enjoyed my interview with Lisa. It's exciting to have her here. I love her passion. We could go on and on. I never believed I could talk about food for this length of time, but obviously there's so much here that we can share with Lisa. So thank you very much for watching. Until next week, this is me, Rhoda Wilson, saying goodbye.